My husband recently found out that I tried to cheat on him while in college. Finding out my past actions have come back to haunt me is something I never expected to happen. I'm 26 years old, married to my high school sweetheart, and while our life together isn't perfect, we've managed to make it work. We've been together since we were both 16, a decade-long journey filled with ups and downs, twists and turns, and a lot of growing up. I never imagined that a trip to a remote vacation spot, where we were cut off from the world, would become the setting for one of the most challenging conversations of our relationship. We had no cell service, and on one of those sleepless nights, my husband started scrolling through old photos and texts on his phone. Bored and unable to sleep, he decided to do the same on my phone. We have always had an open policy with our phones, so I didn't think twice about it. What he found, however, was something I had almost forgotten about: a series of messages from nearly 6 years ago, back when we were in college. We had gone to separate colleges but never broke up, managing a long-distance relationship that was tough but something we believed in. But there, buried in the past, were messages about a guy named Greg. Greg was a guy I found attractive, and my friends knew it. I had texted them about him, how hot he was, and how they needed to keep me away from him when I got drunk. Reading those messages again, I can see how it would hurt my husband. The most damning message, though, was one I had sent to a friend after I drunkenly texted Greg at around 1 a.m., asking if he wanted to hook up. Thankfully, he had turned me down, saying he was too tired, but the intention was there. The next morning, I had freaked out, texted my friend, and apologized to Greg, trying to erase the mistake. When my husband confronted me about it, I was dismissive. I truly didn't remember the details, and to me, it was something buried in the past, something that didn't affect our present. But I could see the hurt in his eyes, the feeling of betrayal that I had almost cheated on him while we were dating. He was right, it was almost cheating. The fact that it didn't happen didn't negate the intention behind it. As we sat there, the moonlight casting long shadows in our cozy vacation cabin, I realized this wasn't something we could just brush off. My dismissiveness had hurt him even more. He wasn't going to divorce me over something that happened 6 years ago before we were even engaged, but the betrayal lingered in the air, a ghost from the past that we had to deal with. We spent the rest of the night talking, trying to understand each other's perspectives. He told me how finding those messages made him question our relationship, wondering if there were other things I hadn't told him about. I tried to explain that it was a mistake, a moment of weakness, and something I deeply regretted. I never acted on it, and I had moved on, but I understood now that he hadn't had the chance to. We talked about trust, honesty, and the foundation of our relationship. We had built so much together, from high school to college to our wedding 2 years ago. We had faced challenges, but nothing quite like this. The conversation was hard, filled with tears and long silences, but it was necessary. We needed to confront this ghost if we were going to move forward. In the days that followed, we continued to talk, not just about the past but about our present and future. We discussed how to rebuild trust, how to be more open with each other, and how to ensure something like this wouldn't happen again. It wasn't easy, and there were moments when I wondered if our relationship could withstand this blow. But we had faced challenges before, and I believed in us. I also had to confront my own feelings of guilt and regret. I had to forgive myself for a mistake I made in my early 20s, understanding that while it was a significant error, it didn't define who I was or our relationship. My husband needed time to process and heal, and I needed to give him that space. We also sought counseling, something we hadn't done before. It was a way to have a neutral party help us navigate our feelings, to give us tools to communicate better and rebuild our trust. The sessions were tough, bringing up old wounds and forcing us to look at our relationship under a microscope. But they were also healing, helping us understand each other better and laying the groundwork for a stronger future. Our vacation, which started as a break from the world, turned into a journey of healing and rediscovery. We walked along the beach, talked late into the night, and slowly began to rebuild what was broken. It wasn't a quick fix, and there were days when the hurt resurfaced, but we were committed to each other. Looking back now, I see that moment as a turning point in our relationship. It forced us to confront issues we had buried, to talk about things we had avoided, and to grow stronger together. It wasn't the vacation we had planned, but it was the one we needed. As we returned to our everyday lives, the ghost of Greg and that night 6 years ago didn't disappear completely, but it became a part of our story, a reminder of our resilience and commitment. We learned that love isn't just about the good times but about facing the challenges together, being honest, and working through the pain. Our marriage isn't perfect, but it's real and it's ours. We've come a long way from those two teenagers in high school, and we have a long way to go. But we're walking that path together, hand in hand, ready to face whatever comes next. The nights following the discovery were filled with a mixture of silence and deep, soul-bearing conversations. We'd sit in bed, the hum of the air conditioner the only sound breaking the stillness, and just talk. He'd ask me to recount my memories of that time, to help him understand how I could have come so close to breaking his trust. I would explain how I felt lonely, how the pressures of college and maintaining a long-distance relationship had weighed on me, how Greg had been a distraction, a fleeting temptation that never truly meant anything. In these moments, I saw my husband in a new light. His vulnerability, his willingness to confront the pain head-on, made me fall in love with him all over again. He wasn't just the boy I had loved since high school. He was a man who was willing to fight for our marriage, who believed in us enough to face this head-on. On weekends, we'd take long walks, sometimes in silence, sometimes talking about our dreams for the future. We'd visit places that held memories for us, like the park where we had our first date, or the coffee shop where we'd studied together in high school. These trips down memory lane were bittersweet, reminding us of our shared history and the challenges we had overcome together. I remember one particular evening, as we watched the sunset from a hill overlooking the city, he turned to me and said, "I don't want this to break us. I love you and I believe in us, but I need you to be honest with me, always." His words were a balm to my aching heart. I promised him, then and there, that I would always strive to be the partner he deserved, that I would work every day to rebuild the trust we had lost. We also made a point to reconnect with friends and family, to surround ourselves with the people who had supported us through thick and thin. We hosted dinners, went on double dates, and spent time with our respective families. These moments of normalcy were grounding, reminding us of the network of love and support we had around us. During this time, I found solace in journaling. I would write about my feelings, my regrets, and my hopes for our future. It became a therapeutic outlet for me, helping me process the guilt and find ways to forgive myself. I wrote letters to my husband, pouring out my heart, and though I never showed them to him, just the act of writing helped me heal. One of the hardest parts was dealing with the what-ifs. What if Greg had said yes that night? What if my husband had found out then, and not now? These thoughts plagued me, but with time, I learned to let them go. I couldn't change the past, but I could learn from it, grow from it, and make sure I never made the same mistake again. We also focused on creating new memories together. We took up new hobbies, like cooking classes and hiking. We planned spontaneous weekend getaways, exploring new cities and discovering hidden gems. These adventures brought us closer, helping us rediscover the joy and excitement of being together. In the midst of all this, I also had to confront my own insecurities. I realized that part of the reason I had been tempted by Greg was because I was seeking validation outside of my relationship. I had to work on building my self-esteem, on finding confidence and fulfillment within myself, rather than looking for it in others. This journey of self-discovery was challenging, but ultimately rewarding. It made me a stronger, more self-assured person, and a better partner. As we approached our 2-year wedding anniversary, I felt a renewed sense of hope and optimism. We had come so far, and while the journey was far from over, I knew we were on the right path. We decided to celebrate by taking a trip to the place where we had spent our honeymoon, a beautiful cabin in the mountains. It was a symbolic gesture, a way to reconnect with the love and commitment we had pledged to each other on our wedding day. The cabin was just as we remembered it, cozy and secluded, with stunning views of the surrounding mountains. We spent our days hiking, exploring, and simply enjoying each other's company. At night, we'd sit by the fire, reminiscing about our honeymoon and reflecting on how far we had come since then. One evening, as we sat on the porch, wrapped in blankets and watching the stars, my husband took my hand and said, I'm proud of us. We've been through so much, but we're still here, still fighting for each other. I love you more than words can express. His words brought tears to my eyes, and I realized just how lucky I was to have him by my side. Our anniversary trip was a turning point, a reaffirmation of our love and commitment. We returned home feeling closer than ever, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. We continued to work on our communication, to be honest and open with each other, and to prioritize our relationship. In the end, the experience of confronting my past mistake and working through it together made us stronger. It taught us the importance of honesty, forgiveness, and perseverance. It reminded us that love isn't just about the good times, but about standing by each other through the tough times, about fighting for each other and never giving up. Our marriage isn't perfect, and it never will be. But it's real, it's strong, and it's ours. We've come a long way from those two teenagers in high school, and we have a long way to go. But we're walking that path together, hand in hand, ready to face whatever comes next. And that, to me, is the true meaning of love. As we moved forward, our daily lives slowly settled back into a rhythm that felt familiar yet newly fortified. Our mornings began with quiet coffee rituals, moments where we'd sit together, enjoying the simple act of sharing a space. These small routines became the glue that held us together, reinforcing our bond in the seemingly mundane aspects of life. Workdays were often long, with both of us immersed in our respective careers. But we made it a point to check in with each other, sending texts throughout the day, small gestures to remind each other of our presence and love. These little messages became lifelines, threads that kept us connected even when we were apart. Evenings were our sanctuary. We cooked dinner together, experimenting with new recipes and laughing at our culinary mishaps. The kitchen became a place of connection, where we could unwind and share our days. It was during these times that I saw my husband relax, his shoulders losing their tension, his face softening with the comfort of home. Weekends were our time to explore. We became tourists in our own city, visiting museums, parks, and trying out new restaurants. These adventures added a sense of novelty to our relationship, reminding us of the excitement we felt when we first started dating. We rediscovered each other in these moments, finding joy in the shared experiences and the thrill of discovery. Our friends and family noticed the change in us. They saw the way we leaned into each other, the way our conversations flowed more freely, and the renewed spark in our interactions. We received comments about how happy we seemed, and those observations felt like small victories, affirmations that we were on the right path. In our private moments, we continued to delve deeper into our feelings. There were nights when we stayed up late, wrapped in each other's arms, talking about our fears, our dreams, and our future. We discussed the possibility of starting a family, our career aspirations, and our plans for the next few years. These conversations brought us closer, creating a shared vision of the life we wanted to build together. We also made an effort to celebrate each other. Birthdays, anniversaries, and even the smaller milestones were acknowledged with love and thoughtfulness. These celebrations became a way to honor our journey, to recognize the growth and resilience that defined our relationship. Our communication improved significantly. We learned to express our needs and listen to each other without judgment. We practiced empathy, trying to understand each other's perspectives and feelings. This shift in our communication style created a safer space for us to be vulnerable, to share our innermost thoughts and fears without the fear of rejection. Therapy played a crucial role in our healing process. Our therapist helped us navigate the complex emotions and lingering doubts. Through guided sessions, we learned techniques to manage conflicts, to communicate more effectively, and to rebuild the trust that had been shaken. Therapy became a cornerstone of our journey, providing us with the tools and support we needed to move forward. There were still moments of insecurity, times when the past would resurface, casting a shadow over our present. But we faced these moments together, acknowledging the pain and working through it. We refused to let the past define us, choosing instead to learn from it and grow stronger. I also took time for self-reflection. I examined my actions, understanding the underlying reasons for my past behavior. I confronted my insecurities, working to build a healthier sense of self-worth. This personal growth was essential, not just for my relationship, but for my own well-being. I needed to forgive myself, to let go of the guilt and embrace a future where I could be the partner my husband deserved. As the months passed, we continued to build on the foundation of trust and love. Our relationship became more resilient, capable of weathering the storms that life inevitably brought. We learned to lean on each other, to find strength in our partnership, and to celebrate the love that had endured through the years. We also found ways to give back to our community, volunteering together and supporting causes that were important to us. These shared endeavors added a new dimension to our relationship, reinforcing our bond and giving us a sense of purpose beyond ourselves. Travel became a significant part of our lives as well. We planned trips to places we had always wanted to visit, creating new memories and experiencing the world together. These adventures allowed us to see each other in different lights, to witness each other's growth, and to appreciate the depth of our connection. Therapy played a crucial role in our healing process. Our therapist helped us navigate the complex emotions and lingering doubts. Through guided sessions, we learned techniques to manage conflicts, to communicate more effectively, and to rebuild the trust that had been shaken. Therapy became a cornerstone of our journey, providing us with the tools and support we needed to move forward. There were still moments of insecurity, times when the past would resurface, casting a shadow over our present. But we faced these moments together, acknowledging the pain and working through it. We refused to let the past define us, choosing instead to learn from it and grow stronger. I also took time for self-reflection. I examined my actions, understanding the underlying reasons for my past behavior. I confronted my insecurities, working to build a healthier sense of self-worth. This personal growth was essential, not just for my relationship, but for my own well-being. I needed to forgive myself, to let go of the guilt and embrace a future where I could be the partner my husband deserved. As the months passed, we continued to build on the foundation of trust and love. Our relationship became more resilient, capable of weathering the storms that life inevitably brought. We learned to lean on each other, to find strength in our partnership, and to celebrate the love that had endured through the years. We also found ways to give back to our community, volunteering together and supporting causes that were important to us. These shared endeavors added a new dimension to our relationship, reinforcing our bond and giving us a sense of purpose beyond ourselves. Travel became a significant part of our lives as well. We planned trips to places we had always wanted to visit, creating new memories and experiencing the world together. These adventures allowed us to see each other in different lights, to witness each other's growth, and to appreciate the depth of our connection.